Hello Libra, welcome to Monarch Intuition, and today I'm going to be doing your grand occult reading for 2023. If you're new to my channel, what I like to do is I like to pull one major arcana to see the energy and then clarify with a different deck. So these are going to be kind of like the overarching themes for the year. These are timeless readings for 2023. So these are things that you might have to deal with, but a way to navigate around the situation should they occur. So what do we need to know for the sign of Libra? What's going on for you? Doesn't matter if you get the Tower, doesn't matter if you get the Devil, doesn't matter if you get, a negative card. It's just a warning so you know, okay? What do we need to know for Libra? We have the Devil. Okay. So the Devil's coming out. A lot of people have been getting the Devil. I think Aries got the Devil, Taurus got the Devil, Capricorn got the Devil, not Capricorn, but Gemini, or was it Cancer? I'm not sure. But being chained to bad situations right here, being chained to addictions, not knowing how to get out. Remember, the Devil is the perverse version of the Lovers. Contractual obligations that you probably don't want to be in. As long as you're paying the Devil off, he's okay. But the moment you stop, the moment you wake up and say, hey, I don't like this situation, that's when the Devil comes and collects what he wants. So with this Devil energy, try to be as free as possible this year. Do not, commit yourself to a lot of different things. Do not sign contracts that are going to commit you to things that you're going to have to pay off. For example, last year was a terrible time to buy a car. And I know some people who had to buy cars, but man, those car payments are hurting them. And that if it doesn't get any better, if things get worse, that car might get repossessed. Like, that's how dire the situation is. Don't go and buy houses right now. Just try to accumulate your wealth for yourself. Save some money for yourself. Keep it away. Keep it tucked away. Get some little gold chips. You can sign up from the websites that say for 6 months, they'll send you a gold chip per month. Keep those tucked away. You might need those. It's more so being financially independent, not saying not to trust your bank, okay? That's not what I'm saying, but having, a different form of wealth that you can accumulate that isn't just cash. Because, if something happens to the banking system, then all of a sudden the cash is worthless. But gold is not worthless. Platinum is not worthless, okay? You can still trade gold and platinum to get you a couple of bottles of water if you need it, all right? That's what this situation is right here. Maybe you even need to buy some seeds. That could be a big deal right there. Buying good seeds. I need to write that down, actually. There are a couple of websites where you can buy organic heirloom seeds. What you need to do is you need to get a couple of packets of those and just tuck them away. Don't commit to anything that seems negative. And maybe it's time to unbind situations that are negative within your life. So that way you can be free for 2023. Maybe you're going into this season being bound to negative commitments right here. Might be time for you to, really start thinking about unbinding situations within your life. And then learning from the situations that have bound you and not going back and binding yourself to those things again. So what do we need to know about the Revelations Tarot? I think you've gotten the Devil a lot in your readings. I'm going to get you one more major arcana. Actually, I don't think that's going to help. I don't think that's going to help. What's going on with this Devil energy for Libra? The Eight of Wands in reversed. The Chariot upright, and the Nine of Wands in reversed. Here's the thing. Wands are coming down, okay? And upright, the Eight of Wands have gone up, right? And where they land is where they land. When the Wands come down, that strikes the ground and it burns up and then it incinerates wherever they landed. It's kind of like flaming arrows being shot off in like those old wartime movies. A million arrows are flying in the sky and they're all on fire. Wherever they land, that's going to burn up. And that person is probably very fucked, right? So with this Eight of Wands right here, they're coming down, they're landing. But you have the opportunity with the Chariot to ascend right when they land. But the problem is with this Nine of Wands, you cannot just give in to the Devil right here. It's kind of like You know, imagine the devil is on this earth and he knows that judgment day is coming, right? I'm going to give you like a biblical perspective. He knows judgment day is coming. And he sees you running to this chariot. And he's like, no, 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 Libra, hold on, hold on. And he pulls out a golden apple, which is like he knows that you love apples and he knows that you love gold. He's like, come stay with me. And you run back to him to grab that golden apple, and all of a sudden those wands come crashing down and you just didn't see them because you weren't looking up. Had you just known that, hey, that devil right there is shining or trying to give you that gold apple, you could have just been like, you know what, I'm going to get in this chariot. It's kind of like looking past the glamour of things, looking past the temptations and saying, no, I need to ascend. And I'm not talking about, it doesn't always have to be just going to heaven. It's just seeing something from, that it's trying to bind you to a situation. You know that it's trying to keep you there, but you need to ascend past that. You need to move past whatever the devil is trying to tempt you with right here. So what do we need to know about the Eight of Wands? I'll just say it. A lot of people didn't want to take that shot when they were in the military. A lot of people didn't. And they were trying to offer people, sign-on bonuses to re-enlist, like $40,000, $60,000. But it's like a lot of people just didn't trust it. It's what it is. You can feel how you want about the situation, and that's the situation that you have to be aware of right there. Do you want to be bound to something where you have to listen to it while the wands come crashing down? Just because you wanted that extra money. Because here's the thing, that was a way to keep people stuck in a situation. But was that money really helpful? Because, they're now trapped. They're still having to listen to all the mandates that come about. They could have been free. In certain places, life just goes on. Life is carrying on like normal. But in certain other places, life is still under lockdown and restrictions and all of these other things. Now, you can still, take care of your health and still, do what you got to do. However, it's really shocking going to one state to a different state where all these things are still in place. And it's like, no, stay with me and do all these things here. Eight of Wands, you have the Ten of Swords, yep. Five of Wands. Ten of Swords coming out, representing a swift defeat on the people who are fighting for situations. Like these people who are in this battle right here are going to die. Because the Eight of Wands are coming down swiftly. Those arrows are raining down on them. It's a card of Sagittarius. Sagittarius the Archer. Chariot. You could escape, though, with the Strength card and the Moon card. You could have a very beautiful escape mechanism because the Chariot and the Moon, the dark side of the moon, listen to that. It's by, oh God, who was it? Pink Floyd? No. Dark Side of the Moon? There's an album called Dark Side of the Moon. There's like an oasis on the dark side of the moon. And that's where the Chariot wants to take you, is where it's safe. Closing the mouth of the lion right here. Remember, the devil is an angel. But this angel is shutting the mouth of the lion. He's closing the mouth of the lion to allow you to escape. But it's up to you to get into that chariot so that you can go to the dark side of the moon, where it's safe, where the devil doesn't know that it exists. I'm not actually saying like to live on the dark side of the moon, like I fucking like live in reality, but I'm saying you have the opportunity to go to a safer spot, a safer place, a better situation for yourself, but the devil is dangling something in front of you, okay? Nine of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. Trying to give you that money. Remember, trying to offer you that fucking golden apple. That's the message. It's trying to give you the golden apple. Please stay. And it's like you're lowering your defenses. Because the Nine of Wands upright, it's like he's survived a battle. He's bruised and battered, but he survived that battle. He's okay. The Nine of Wands in reverse is, it's like, gosh, I don't know. maybe that battle wasn't worth it. It's kind of like he's making friends with the enemy right here. Like, they're trying to kill him, and he's just kind of like gently hitting them with the stick. He's like, ah, get away from me. The Ace of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Lovers. You're trying to leave the situation, but that golden apple is right there trying to keep you there. You're saying that wand needs to stay there and I need to figure out a new place to go, but that golden apple keeps being offered to you. And it's in like a connected situation. You have the Lovers situation, but here's the thing. False enlightenment, false illusion. You know that the Lovers is trying to connect you to the new wand, but the devil is a perverse version of the Lovers that wants to keep you chained to the old wand. The Two of Swords, you can't see that though. You are blinded by that illumination for yourself. You're like, where do I go from here? But I feel good in this situation. And the devil keeps offering you that golden apple. Keep looking at this. The Ace of Wands, you're going to get a new opportunity. You are going to get a new opportunity, okay, Libra? Here's the thing. You will have an opportunity to get into that chariot. You may have turned down that chariot 1.5 million times, but this time the universe is saying, all right, Libra, you're kind of desperate here, all right? Here's this ace. We're going to hand it off to you. Now you're going to pick a place where you want to go on this globe, and it's up to you to leave now. And you're going to say, okay. But all of a sudden that apple is offered to you again. It's like, no, Libra, come on. Why do you want to leave here? Why do you want to leave the world? Don't you want to, revel in judgment with me? No, you don't. The Three of Pentacles. You're building something. You have this new craft. You have this new skill. People like what you do. You have an opportunity with this new Ace of Wands to do something else. Hanged Man. Go into deep reflective meditation. I almost feel like you want to self-sacrifice right here, but self-sacrificing is self-sabotage right now. The King of Cups. You want to come from an emotional perspective, right? It's almost like you're emotionally chained to a situation and you want to emotionally self-sacrifice to keep continuously helping something out, but you don't see how much suffering it's causing. You don't see the danger and the catastrophe behind that. It's kind of like, for example, say you live in a nuclear warpath. Like there are a couple of states, like I believe it's Missouri and Kentucky and a few other states that are actually nuclear warpaths that would be targeted in a nuclear attack, right? And you have the opportunity to leave that state. You can't see the future. You're just like, yeah, I really want to leave Missouri or Kentucky or wherever the fuck, right? And I'd like to go somewhere that's different. You don't have to go to the big city or anything. You just want to go somewhere different. And every time you do so, the devil sends you a man, and it keeps, keeping you there in Missouri. This time, the angels are like, all right, so here you go, Libra. Here's a ticket. Here's some money in your hand. Here is, the brand new opportunity. You got that new fucking job. Go. And all of a sudden, the devil comes by with that golden apple and sends you some bodybuilder who works at GNC who ain't shit. And you're like, nah, but that's what I want. And you stay there, and all of a sudden, the nuclear warhead hits. That's what that is. Nine of Cups. The Wheel of Fortune. You're going to get that wish. The Wheel of Fortune is spinning in your favor. You have a wish. Take it and go. All right, Libra? Don't fucking stay in a bad situation. Page of Swords, the Emperor, the Three of Cups. See that the Emperor wants you to celebrate somewhere else. Understand that. Understand that, here's a method of biological warfare. I'm going to talk about this. Biological warfare happens. It happens a lot. For example, if you want to kill off a community, a marginalized community, really easily, what you do is you have someone who's really attractive, right? Say, for instance, like Grindr. Let's talk about this. Guys, listen. Girls, listen. Even if you're straight, listen. This happens, and this is why HIV is rising in the straight communities. What will happen in marginalized communities, this is why Atlanta got hit so fucking hard with the HIV epidemic right now, is that governments or other governments, say for instance, like people who don't like us, like Russia or China or whatever, they will give someone HIV purposefully, and they will work as like a sex spy. What they will do is they will give them a bunch of steroids and make them really, really hot and attractive, right? They will put them on Grindr, and they will send them into a community, and they will pay for them to stay in that community. They'll usually be like, you know, some sort of YouTube or TikTok star, whatever. They won't have like a real fucking job. They'll just work at like some bullshit thing, right? Their goal is to fuck as many people as they can within this community and pass themselves around and give everyone HIV. That is what they do. That is a biological warfare tactic. It happens a lot. And a lot of people fall for that, okay? And this is why this stuff's happening in the straight community too. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, to be on guard, but to protect your body, it is a temple, okay? If that person likes you enough, they will go and get tested with you. If they really, you know, want you. Now, I understand people just want a quick fling, but be protected. If you're going to, you know, have a quick fling, be protected. Bring your own condoms, bring your own drinks, bring your own things, all right? But that's kind of what I'm seeing is it's like, all of a sudden you get on your website or you get on Grindr, whatever it is, and there's that really attractive person. You're like, I've never fucking seen you before in my life. Where did you come from? Well, spellcasting oracle cards. Get in that chariot and go. It could be something as like simple as you get cock blocked. Like you see someone and they're talking to you, and then say your mom sees you. You're like shopping out in public, and your mom's like, "Hey, sweetie, how are you?" And all of a sudden you're like, "Oh my gosh, it's my mom." You turn around, you go and walk up to your mom, and you're like, "Hey, mom, blah blah blah." You turn around, that person's gone. That was that chariot moment. You might be thinking, you might be sitting there like cursing your mom out in your head, like, "My gosh, she just knows the right moment to cock block me." Blah blah blah. No, that was the angel coming down and saying, "No." You have light in your load and spirit guide. So I think you need to drop the burdens. You know what? Drop the devil. If you have this new opportunity, which I feel like is being presented with you with the Ace of Wands and the Two of Wands, go on that new adventure. Don't stay stuck, because you don't know how the Ten of Swords is coming down. Spirit guide. Pay attention to your spirit guides. You know, I'm not going to call myself a spiritual guide. I'm not going to call myself a spiritual guru or anything like that. A lot of people call me a prude. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you just don't understand it, love. You don't understand about having fun. You don't understand whatever, blah, blah, blah." I do. Trust me, I do. You know, I also see the negative sides of things that happen to people. I have seen people get really ill and die. I have seen people overdose at the clubs. I have seen people, you know, just pass themselves around because they don't care. Especially at like the barracks when I was in the military. People are fucking gross. People will fuck in a porta potty, all right? Like, that sounds nasty, but that is the truth. In fact, we have something called, you know, I won't even get into that, but, you know, I'm not trying to be a prude. I'm trying to protect people in a way with sound, logical advice. You see someone you've never seen before who's really attractive, chances are that could be the case, because look at what's happened in the world, all right? Say, for instance, Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury slept with a lot of people. But he was infected with HIV. He didn't know he was infected, but everyone wanted to sleep with Freddie Mercury. And they don't even have to know that they're infected with something. It could just be, you get to sleep with that famous movie star, and then all of a sudden your mom shows up and is like, hey, sweetie. That's that situation right there. Don't take it as a bad situation. The chariot is there to save you every single time. But if you choose to ignore and say, hey, mom, not right now, that's on you. The angels are going to send you that new opportunity every single time to allow you to restart your life, to allow you to continue to keep living, all right? Allow you to walk away from the Eight of Wands, Ten of Swords. So, a dragon emergence and mole superstition. You will emerge like a dragon, but at the same time, other people can emerge like dragons within your life. Pay attention to the superstitions that are around you. Cosmic blueprint with the friend flurry. Superstitions are really important. Pay attention to your spirit guides. If you have an animal totem, pay attention to that. That could be the chariot. If you say your favorite animal is like a deer, and you're shopping at Target one day and that situation shows up and all of a sudden you see a deer just walking in the parking lot, that's what you know. That's the chariot moment. That is like, okay, it's time for me to move on. It's time for me to just, whatever. Now you can live your life, you can do whatever you want to, but cosmic blueprint and friend flurry. You're going to have a lot of people within your lives, trying to keep you stuck in a situation, trying to get your attention right here. But focus on the cosmic blueprint. Focus on continuously moving with the Fibonacci sequence. Understand that there is the beauty within the art. In the number sequence, there is art. What seems to be like a mistake is not a mistake. You have Rado, wagon, travel, communication, decisive action, reunion, progress. Spiritual meaning is inner path and destiny. Travel and communication, okay? We're talking about traveling? Yeah. Decisive action, reunion, and progress. That could be that reunion. Someone you haven't seen in a while is like, oh my gosh, hey Libra, come be miserable with me. And once again, this is talking about if you get that new opportunity that's like, get that job, the one you really want is in a really good place. You're like, okay, I want to go on this new adventure. I know that I'm not supposed to stay here. I know that I'm miserable here. Night Song, Hidden Talents, Lady de los Muertos, Acceptance and Equality. Except, sometimes you have to take the L, all right? But understand that equalizes out the scales. You take an L on something that you really want and it hurts you. Think about that it really wasn't an L. It was lust, and it was to protect you from that situation. Night Song, Hidden Talents. Oh, my camera the light just went out. With the Hidden Talents and the Night Song energy, what you need to do is you need to focus on your skills right here. What skills do you have? How can your skills help you in moving in this situation, okay? So anyway, Libra, focus on your talents, focus on your skills, focus on what you have. Maybe your skills and your talents can make you money somewhere else. So keep on doing that, okay? So anyway, Libra, I'll talk to you later.